unique life at 25 or whatever, or maybe not even unique, because I'm sure it's not that unique. Like actually it's probably not. There's girls all over the world doing the same shit as me. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Living my best life.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
What's your name?
My name is Simone.
And how old are you?
I am 25. I'm 25.
Okay. So who are you on a soul level?
On a soul level, I am love. I'm a nurturer. I'm a healer. A caretaker. I am a force to be reckoned with.
Explain that. I like that. That's strong energy.
I just always feel like my whole life, like, I'm very nice and kind, but I think I come off as very formidable. And I like that. I like that. I've been described as a hurricane at times, which at one point in my life was very true, because it was very accurate. It was like nutty on the outside, but very like center. And yeah, I just feel like I'm a very formidable person, not in a bad way, but I just feel like I can be intense, and that my energy is very commanding, and I can change the space with my energy depending on how I decide to utilize my energy. So I feel like I'm a force to be reckoned with, because there's nothing that I cannot accomplish if I put my mind to it, because I got God on my side. So I just feel very like limitless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So are there any life events or like things that are going on right now in the world that kind of affect like who you are as a person, or like made you who you are?
That's a good question. I don't know if I really say like going on in the world right now. Lately I've really been like kind of like, I don't watch the news anymore right now. I like keep up with like little local stuff, but I've been kind of trying to like shut myself off from that, because I have I'm very curated with my social media. I have a problem with anything that like tries to inspire fear in me. So I haven't been very like privy to what's going on with the whole world, because I feel like we're in a very fear-mongering culture right now, and I don't like that. I feel like fear controls people, fear feeds ego, and that's not something I'm into. So I don't know if there's anything going on right now that I really say is like impacting my thinking or my perspective, but probably just like our age, like being in your mid-20s, like I'm 25 is your official like mid-20s. I had my little early midlife crisis like a few months ago, where I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting old and life is over. Like I had a little crisis, a little meltdown. I'm back and better. But I just think I really feel like for myself, like I am not, I wouldn't say a product of my experiences in life, but I am definitely have been shaped by those experiences and how I choose to perceive those experiences. So I just feel like my whole life in general is really like how I came to be.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
That's how we got this. And like I would think just right now, I just think being 25 in like my unique life at 25 or whatever, or maybe not even unique, because I'm sure it's not that unique. Like actually it's probably not. There's girls all over the world doing the same shit as me. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like that's the truth of it. So I just think that's I guess what drives like a lot of where my thoughts go right now, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So.
And being a mom.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's very important.
Yes. And my child.
And my kid,
Small
Okay. So there are 3 categories, and I'm gonna get you to pick which one is most important and which is least important. You watch the other one so you know how this goes.
Yeah.
So the first one is love, sex, and relationships. The second is society, culture, and politics. And the third is spirituality and religion. So which takes the front seat in your life and which takes the back seat and which is kind of like doesn't really matter. And you can mix and match if you need to.
So the back seat, well, I'd probably break them down a little bit. Like, politics is definitely last because while intellectually and realistically I understand that this world functions on a basis where politics matters, and even little things you do in your professional career, everything, politics matters. The timing of things matters. Like, so I'm realistic in understanding that, but I also am at a point in my spirituality where I also know it's all bullshit. You feel me? So because I understand that, I'm right now, for what my soul needs, I'm not paying attention to politics at all, because I just think it's all a distraction from like real life. So that's like the last. And what else was the politics? Society and culture. I guess, yeah, that whole category would kind of be last, but society and culture like a little bit above politics, because like I do think about like culture and society and other people a lot, because I want to like make an impact on the world, and like, you know, so that it does come into play, but it's not, I guess, maybe not so much in the forefront of my mind on a regular basis right now. Spirituality would definitely be like number one for me, because God is first. So that's like definitely my number one. But I feel like love and relationships and sex like also are a very close second, because in a sense they kind of go hand in hand. So at least for me, myself, I've realized and learned about myself that like I am the best version of myself when I am giving and receiving love. Like, and I've learned, or well, I'm maybe not learned, but I'm learning to not look at that in like a negative light of like, oh, you're needy or you're this or the other. It's just that like that's what brings the best out of me, is when I'm able to like give love to people, and not just people I'm close to, like just in general. Like that's what makes me the best version of myself, when I'm giving and receiving love. So I would say that love and relationships are a close second, because like I feel like my relationship to God and myself is first, but I also feel like, you know, for me the most important thing right after that is my family and my friends, and like, you know, just like I want when people meet me, or even if they have a moment to experience with me, like I want to leave a good mark on their soul. Like I want it so that if our souls link up again in another lifetime or another universe, like I don't want to have left a bad mark on anybody. So that's like something that I'm like very conscious of at this time in my life. And so I would say spirituality is first, but in my mind, like love, sex, and relationships all kind of tie into that. I'm at a point where I don't believe in our culture tries to separate them. And I don't believe in that. That's not something I believe in. So yeah.
Oh my god, that was a great answer. That was amazing. That just made my day. So I'm gonna get you to draw.
Okay.
So you're gonna pick colors that represent your mood right now, and represent your life, and represent you as a whole. And then you're gonna draw for the rest of the interview, and you're gonna show what you drew at the end. I know it's a lot of colors.
I should have got high first. That's when I do my best artwork.
Did you watch Ricky's interview? The last one I did, the dude with the dreads.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh yes, I did actually. Yes.
He was so high.
I know.
It was great.
I did. Yes.
I love him. Okay.
I think I'm good.
So, which colors did you pick and why?
I might need more colors.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll leave
I'm
this
not
here.
sure how I'm
just let me
feeling
know.
completely yet. But so far, I picked 2 purples and a neon green and a blue. I've been feeling blue a lot lately. So my favorite color is actually red. I think it's a very powerful and formidable color, which is why it's my fave. But right now, I'm also like, I'm at a stage in my life where I'm really trying to like calm down this month. Like, I'm trying to recuperate right now. I've had a really rough beginning to this year, so I'm really trying to recuperate. And so in my like recuperation process, colors that are really standing out to me are purples and blues, because they just feel very like peaceful to me.
They're really healing colors.
Yeah, and neon green has just been standing out to me. I mean, besides the fact that you fucking see it everywhere,
right?
Because it's trending right now, which I ain't got nothing against that. You know what I'm saying? It stands out to me a lot right now because it's just vibrant, and it like makes me think of like joy and life, and like kind of like represents, I guess, where like I'm trying to get to again with my recuperation process. Not saying that I'm not happy or not enjoying life, but like just like I want to be commit. Like right now, I want to be very committed to me living my best life. So neon green represents that for me because it makes me think of happiness. It's kind of a thought color, which also makes me think of happiness. It also makes me think of my best life. So, because, you know, we live in a world now where, like, everything fun women do is thotty. So I've just learned to be like, nigga, fuck that shit. Like, what's good? Like, you can't use that word against me anymore. So that's why I like neon green. It's a little thotty color, and I like it.
Yes, okay. I support all of that. Yes, okay. So you could just start drawing, and then I'm going to ask you questions, and if you don't finish, don't feel bad about it, because sometimes it's hard to answer and draw at the same time. First question, what makes you the most upset?
Right now, I would have to say what makes me the most upset on a spiritual level is people who like people projecting their own like bullshit, like not bullshit. What's the best way to put this? What I am very bothered by people's need to project their truths onto other people, because I truly believe that your and my truths can coexist at the same time and not negate each other.
Yes.
And I have a very big issue with no. I just have a very big issue with people projecting their own truth as the only truth. And that's something that makes me very uncomfortable right now. And I think my like follow-up to that would be I'm very bothered by like within people, I guess, because it kind of goes with projecting your own truth, with like people projecting their egos onto others. One of my goals this year spiritually was to learn to love the people in my life and the people I interact with on a daily basis outside of my own ego, which has been fucking extremely fucking goddamn challenging. It's very hard, okay? You gotta be careful what you pray and wish for, because sometimes you pray for some hard shit that sounds like it's like, oh, this will be so great if I can get there, and then God's like, okay, you gonna get there, but it's gonna kill you in the process. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a little challenging. But that's probably like the two things that like are really like make my skin crawl right now. And then like just on a physical level, like I just am very annoyed with being bothered right now because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And just people be asking me for shit, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so tired. So
like, no, I can't, 'cause I'm tired.
I'm just so tired. So that's like but that's like at work and shit where I'm just like, can y'all please leave me alone?
Yeah.
I'm so tired. But other than that,
more sleep.
One day,
right?
Like
exactly.
eventually.
Because honestly, ain't none of us get no sleep, so that's fine. What excites you more than anything?
Seeing other people happy.
Okay.
That makes me that makes me the happiest.
Does it have to be your friends, or can it just be like a stranger?
I like just seeing.
Excited?
I just like seeing people happy. Like I really enjoy seeing other people like just like celebrating their life and like, you know, like having moments of joy and like love. I love seeing love.
God, I love seeing love.
I love it, like just in every form, like friends, siblings, kids and parents, lovers. I really, really like enjoy seeing other people feeling God's love and joy. That makes me real happy. So that's probably something that makes me the happiest. Other than like my kid being happy.
Right.
And like watching the kids eat. It's weird, but like other parents will probably relate to that. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I feel real good when I watch my kids, my brothers and my child eat. It makes me happy.
Okay. What are you most afraid of?
So I struggle with fear a lot in general, which is weird
Me
because
too.
I'm such a formidable, like fearless. I seem so fearless and courageous, and it's very weird because on the inside I have this very, and I've worked on this for years, but I have like a terrible reaction to fear. It is like the most uncomfortable thing for my soul because at soul I'm so fearless and courageous and limitless. So like when my ego is like, but fear, bitch, it's just like, oh my god, we can't deal with this. So it's interesting. Fear is an interesting thing for me. I think at this moment in my life right now, the thing I would fear most is living a life in fear.
Okay, that's a good one.
I really, really don't want to limit myself with fear, and I don't want to miss out on, not miss out, but like, I don't want to look back at my life and feel like, damn, I didn't fulfill God's purpose for me because I was scared of just anything, like losing people or how people would look at me, or even like for me it's more so like I tend to have like a fear of like pain or trauma, I guess because I've been through like quite a bit already in a sense that I'm so like I don't want to deal with nothing, like, you know what I'm saying, but like that's not realistic. Like part of pain is growing and part of pain is life, and or part of growing and part of life is pain, sorry. And so it's like I'm working on that, you know, but that, I think my biggest fear right now would be to stay afraid. That would be like the worst thing that I can maybe think of. Yeah.
Okay, so if you were a facial expression, what would it be? Oh my god, I can totally see how you looked as a kid.
Just like that.
Like I can see your like
and my kid makes that same picture.
Pictures.
My kid makes the same face, and it's my same face. We both have the same face.
I love that.
That's
What is your favorite song right now?
Oh, can I do albums?
Sure.
I'm having a lot of songs. Definitely, you know, Fever. Because it's a hot girl summer, okay? Y'all niggas been warned. Y'all been warned.
What's your favorite song on that album? First of all, tell them whose album that is.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay, love her. And what is your favorite song on that album?
Oh, probably Cash Shit. Or her freestyle. What is it? The Realness freestyle or whatever. She got a freestyle on there and she be coming for bitches next, and I like that shit. So yeah, she makes me feel really confident and like really like, she just makes me feel like in the morning, like when I'm kind of like, she makes me be like, nah bitch, you that bitch, and I'm like, yeah, that's right, I'm about to go kill this shit. So her, she my fave right now. And then also I've been listening to the baby, sorry, I've been listening to his album Baby on Baby a lot because I really like him. And my favorite song is Pony. Yeah, so those are like probably my top 2 albums right now.
Okay.
I feel like there's something else.
Stuff that gets you hyped.
Yeah, I'm in a mood right now where and I've been like this for maybe like the past like 8 months, where I've been listening to like mad hype music with like my breaks of my regular chill in between, because I'm just like, I've just been needing an extra push, you know? And I'm not ashamed of saying that. I've been needing an extra fucking push.
Yeah.
Just, shit, I be tired. There's, like, really no explanation other than I be tired.
Right.
So, that's, yeah. So, no, but those are my, like, I literally, every day in the car right now, I'm, like, listening to those, and I'm just like, yeah. And I'm, like, throwing in my African vibes and, like, my eclectic shit, my jazz, or, like, my singy R&B-ish.
It's a whole summer mix.
Yeah, it's
a whole summer mix.
But definitely Megan, because
yeah, always Megan.
I love her.
I don't know so many people that She is like acquired, but also I do love her.
She's also an Aquarius though, so.
Oh, that's where that connection is. Okay,
you know
so
what
we get
I'm
her
saying?
in there.
Yes. She be saying stuff that I'm literally like, these are my inner thoughts.
Yeah.
Yes. Like.
She knows me. See, what is social media to you?
A tool.
Okay. A tool for what?
A tool for marketing first and foremost. A tool for connecting. A tool for reaching people not near you. I think people misuse it a lot, and that's why there's a negative image about it. But I don't actually think social media is evil. Like so many of our generation love to say, like that's like a hot, like your cool phrase to be like, I hate social media. But I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's a tool. I think it's a tool that future generations will learn how to be more responsible with.
Oh, for sure.
But
we were the
crash dummies.
Yeah, the guinea pigs. What's the most challenging thing you've gone through?
I've gone through so much challenging shit. I can't even. You know, it's funny. The reason I'm laughing is because every time I go through a new challenge, that's like the most. I'm like, fuck, this is the most challenging. But I'm like, that last shit was mad challenging. Like, so I'm at a point now where I'm like, it's all gonna be challenging. This is what it is. Because
life is a challenge.
Literally every single time, I'm like, damn, I didn't even think it could get much harder, but bitch, it got harder.
Here we are.
So yeah, I would just have to say life is challenging. I don't know. I think probably like the most. I wouldn't say maybe the most challenging, but the most consistent challenge in my life would maybe just be like me dealing with like my mental health issues, or well, I don't even like calling them issues because they're not even like fucking issues. I'm mad high functioning. But yeah, I just think that would probably be like my most ongoing challenge, and then just my general like challenges with like conquering like fear or just always being closer to God is, you know, that always puts you through some hoops and loops.
What high functioning mental things are you working through? Like
I have a panic disorder.
Okay.
I deal with depression like ever since I was like 11, like on and off, but not but I'm like really good at dealing with that. Even though I did just go through a depression episode that was pretty long. It wasn't the worst. It's just I'm not used to having longer episodes anymore because I have gotten so good with managing and like catching, like I've just gotten so good with it that it's like I'm really not used to like going through long drawn out depressions anymore. So that was really weird for me because I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I thought I got good at this, and here we is. So you know, but that's more so it's really my anxiety, my PTSD, that those are kind of like ongoing things that I deal with. Yeah. So I would say that the constant maintenance that I'm high maintenance, you know what I'm saying? I'm high maintenance. I'm not even gonna say a little. I am high maintenance, and I'm okay with that. My name is Simone, and I'm okay with being high maintenance. Okay. I'm high maintenance, and like even for myself, you know, like my self-love, like I think because I pour out so much into other people and into the world with my spiritual energies, that I have to also be a constant refilling, because if I don't constantly refill, I feel drained, and then that's very bad. So I think maybe a challenge for me has just been learning throughout my life the balance of that, and learning like not to get lazy on myself, you know? I don't get lazy on my son. I don't get lazy on my brothers. I don't get lazy on my friends or the people I love, but I get lazy on myself.
Oh my God, yes.
And I'm really now at a point in my life where I'm learning, like, I have to be at the same level as priority as my child and everybody else. Like, it can't be that, like, I just pour, like, and this has always been a challenge. Like, that's why I said it's probably my biggest challenge, because it's always been a challenge for me. Not so much just enforcing my boundaries, because I'm good at I've learned how to enforce my boundaries. Partially because I'm so like intimidating to an extent to some people, like, because people are like, oh, she's real nice, but like it can get real in this bitch real quick, you know what I'm saying? And I think people kind of like see that, so they're like, most people don't try me when it comes to my boundaries, because most people have good sense. That's really what it is. Most people have good sense, and there's a few that don't. There are a few that don't. But I just think that that just me respecting my boundaries and me being like, my biggest inconsistency is myself. Like, I'm not inconsistent with other people, but I'm mad inconsistent with myself. Oh my God, yeah. And I'm at a point where I'm learning to force myself to be consistent with myself, because I also realize, like, how will I expect others to be consistent with me, and how can I, affirm to myself daily that I am worthy of unconditional love and care if I'm not showing myself unconditional love and care consistently on a consistent basis. So that's probably my biggest challenge, is like forcing myself to have really the discipline to be disciplined with loving myself, not just other people.
Yes. Yeah. Love that. Made total sense.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yes. Okay. What is the hardest conversation you've ever had?
So many. So many. God, I don't even know. I've had a lot of tough conversations.
It can just be one that comes to mind. It doesn't.
I had one today before I came here. That was, not the hardest in my life, but I had to have like a conversation with my supervisor, basically about like people being crazy at work, where I was like, I'm not with the shits. And if y'all want me to stay here, I'm gonna need this to change, because I am not with the shits. But that was really difficult for me, because I'm the type of person, I'm the type of person that, like, I have a very hard time entertaining adult egos. And the reason for that, I won't even pin it or project that onto other people. Like, I'm a very egocentric person. Let me just be very honest about this. I'm a fucking Aquarius. I'm egocentric as fuck. That has been a blessing for me, though, because my egocentric nature has pushed me spiritually. It's what's pushed me to learn to control my ego. It's what's pushed me to learn to be more spiritual, to allow my soul to be the driver and my ego to be a passenger. So I'm at a point where I'm not ashamed of being, like, of the fact that I'm egocentric by nature. Also because I feel like your ego isn't a bad thing. Like, ego serves its purpose. It's your bridge for your soul and this body functioning independently in this realm, When babies come out, they don't really have or understand ego, you know what I mean? But when babies need to become independent functioning adults, like my motherfucking 2-year-old who got mad ego, he's also an Aquarius. It just, shit hits the fan. Let me tell you, parents, terrible twos, it just, ego comes and smacks you upside your damn head. So, I don't think ego's a bad thing. I'm learning to, like, accept my ego, because I realize that if I'm going to accept myself fully, I have to also accept that while I'm here in this journey, in this experience of this human journey or whatever, you know what I mean? I got to also accept my ego as part of me. So, because I'm still working and have worked so hard on controlling my own ego, it's very triggering for me to be around people that still function from a very ego-based level. It's extremely difficult for me to deal with that. I don't want to be around those type of people. I literally, I spiritually can't tolerate to be around you if what drives you is your fucking ego.
Right.
And it's not because I think those people are bad people. I just can't. It's triggering to me. Like, my ego isn't at a place yet where you can keep pushing and be like, come out to play, and she's not gonna be like, oh, what's up, bitch? You feel me? Like, we not there yet. So sometimes she will grab that steering wheel like, bitch, Other direction. But it's only when reasonably though, it's when excuse me. It's when I feel I need to protect myself, you know, when my ego feels like like when she's like an alter ego that feels like she needs to, you know, like the defensive mother and like shield me. The thing is that I'm a big girl now and I don't always need shielding. Sometimes I need to feel the hurt. Sometimes I need to feel the pain. I need to feel the lesson.
Right.
I need to have the tough discussion. I need to, you know. So I'm at a point where dealing with adult egos and dealing with adult egos in general has always pissed me off. Like, that's just always been a pet peeve of mine because I'm just like, y'all so grown. Why can't you get it together? But I'm also learning to adjust my expectations of people, partially because I have this like crazy high expectation of myself.
Yes.
And I'm also learning to adjust that because even if I haven't like who I saw myself at 25 when I was 10 years old is very different. Okay? A bitch was making 6 figures. A bitch was, you know what I'm saying? I was doing the thing. And I still feel like I'm doing the thing now though. But I've had to let go of this like ideal expectation pedestal that I had for myself, partly because I'm an egocentric ass nigga, you get what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? When you think you're the best, you're like, there's no reason I can't achieve this.
Right.
My moon sign is Capricorn, so I'm very like ambitious and like, yo, I could do this, you know what I'm saying? So it's a very interesting time.
Yeah.
So yeah, at work today, right before I came here, I had a conversation with my supervisor basically about people being crazy, and it was hard for me because like I didn't want to have the conversation,
right? Because
part of me was just like, I really resent that I have to fucking discuss this shit like we're not all grown-ups who don't know how to talk to people and how to not play bullshit ass games,
right?
So you know what I'm saying? On one level, I was very highly like, I really gotta talk about this shit. So that, you know, frustrated me. And then also just like, this is my first type of professional experience, right? This job is like, I've been a professional before in a sense, but I was young.
Yeah.
And basically up until now, I've just been a hustler. Like that's how I've lived by myself since I was 18. Like I've only stayed at home for 9 months, 10 months in that time period from 18 to 25. So I've always just been a hustler, you know what I'm saying? So this is the first time I've really had to like deal with these office dynamics, which are very interesting because they're like similar to like annoying toxic family dynamics.
Yep.
And so that was just a very like, I didn't even want to have the conversation. I was kind of forced to have the conversation. And then I was just kind of like, well, fuck it. If I'm going to be forced to have this conversation, then like, I'm just going to try to make it productive and work for me. So I'm actually very happy with the outcome of the conversation. I'm very happy with how I handled it. I prepared beforehand, but that was definitely just like very challenging and uncomfortable for me because I was like, I don't like drama. Like I don't like that he said, she said bullshit. Like I'm not the type of person you want to get into shit like that with because I have a very low threshold for it. And my threshold is like, if you play with me, I'm going to annihilate you and I will act like we never met each other. I literally have a supervisor from an old job who lives 2 houses down from me. And when I see that bitch, I act like I don't know her because she was a dick. So, like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of like learning to, you know, navigate that a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that conversation at work before I came here was kind of challenging because I was just nervous about it. I was anxious about it. Also, like, my direct supervisor and boss aren't the problem. You know what I mean? Like, they're so wonderful that it was like, I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to stress y'all out about some shit some other niggas doing. You know, excuse my language. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to come to y'all like I'm complaining about a part of my job, but it's not even y'all. It's like this whole other person in the office who's just like out here being crazy as shit. So
yeah,
that was difficult, but I got through it. And I kind of sort of a little bit got maybe not what I wanted,
but it was a good outcome. Like
more comfortable. Like, put it this way, I'm not going to be in super panic attack mode when I get to work tomorrow.
Good.
like
that's always a win.
That's the best way I can say it. I might not have a panic attack when I get to work tomorrow now. Like, because that's just been happening real frequent. I've just been showing up like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom right quick. It's like a panic. And I'm like, come back. We gotta calm down. So, yeah. I feel like it was good, but it was difficult. It was weird. It was just uncomfortable.
Okay, so I have these questions that I haven't asked yet that I want to try some out on. A lot of these you kind of already answered, which is pretty awesome. Okay. The first one. What's missing?
Right now, I'm gonna give 2 answers to that. My ego says companionship. Just because I have and I have a very good support system, don't get me wrong, but people gotta build their own lives and you know what I mean, and all this shit, and a lot of times I feel lonely because I have a lot of responsibility. I have a 2-year-old. I have my brothers that I care for and look after, and have kind of successfully made into these wonderful little men. Almost one of them graduates next year, so we'll see. But my ego would say companionship. My soul would say deeper acceptance and appreciation of self. Because it's not that I don't enjoy my own company. I very much so enjoy my own company, but just part of going back to that being consistent about loving myself, and not about loving myself intellectually, but about showing love. Because one thing I've learned is that to humans, love doesn't matter unless it can be felt. And yes. It's one thing to intellectually know you're loved. It's another thing to feel you're loved. And that's one thing that, I just think if in terms of what's missing is that I need to show myself love more in different ways. And so I'm learning to get creative with that. I'm ironically learning to speak my own love language. Part of when I prayed last year, at the end of last year, part of my manifestation for this year was to love the people in my life and that I interact with daily outside of my own ego, which is an extremely challenging feat. But I feel like if it can be accomplished, it opens you up to this whole new level of love and this whole new connection with God, where you can it's just like a whole next level love, a next level of unconditional love. Part of what I didn't realize came along with that lesson and that prayer was myself. So, you know what I'm saying? Me and God, we done had some big fights this year, but we, you know what I'm saying? That's my man. He's got my back and loves me, so he's bringing me through it. But that's, I think, what's really missing is that. Yeah.
Okay. And the next one, you get 3 wishes. What are they? And you can't say more wishes, obviously.
Okay. Ooh. Ew. This is so good. Okay. One. I don't even know if I'd really use that though. If I had 3 wishes, because I always thought about this, with the whole Aladdin genie lamp thing, and I've pondered this a lot. I don't think if I was given the chance to get wishes that I would take them.
What?
I wouldn't. Actually, I know for a fact I wouldn't. Because 2 reasons. One.
Wow.
Only the devil sends you perfect packages.
Ooh.
1. 2. Beyond that.
Girl.
There's nothing in this realm that doesn't come with an opportunity cost. So to make a wish and believe that it didn't come with some opportunity cost would be foolish. Mm-hmm. So the logical part of me says, bitch, it's a trap. Bitch, it's a trap. It's a trap. Don't do it. And also, one thing that I truly believe is that everything is how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
For good and for bad. And I know that we take this perspective of like, the world is so terrible and everything's so terrible and we live in a Trump era and terrorists and war and it's all fucked up and terrible. It's not. That's just your perspective. That's what you're choosing to look at. And one thing, my perspective of our generation and our time is very different than most. I think that we are exactly where we need to be right now for the change and revolution that needs to come and that will come. I don't think that we're, going to hell in a handbasket. One thing my mother always told me that I truly believe and is true is that in life there's like a pendulum, right? And God wants you to be balanced and here in the middle for whatever your divine purpose is and just for the whole world, you know what I mean? For how he wants us to live and to function and to treat each other. The pendulum will swing to its extremes until it hits that balance in the middle. So I don't view these extremes as a negative thing. I view them as necessary. So it just kind of, I don't know, I just have a different perspective on it. I don't know.
Wow.
No.
I've never heard that perspective. I did think about that when I thought about like having 3 wishes, because I always think about like the evil side of that, like something ain't right. So the fact that you just said that is kind of a big deal, but I'm still gonna ask other people and see if they like.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question, but I just, for me personally, like.
But it's amazing though, because I feel like I've thought about that, and I've always like that ego, selfish part of me was still like.
Well, the first thing is my ego wants to be like, bitch,
give me all the things.
Give me all of the things.
But you're being smart. Like, at what cost? Like,
but
what
at
is
what
this?
cost?
What am I gonna lose by gaining this?
Exactly.
And
for me, the biggest, I think, really going back to that question about like my biggest fear beyond just living in fear would be like, honestly, truly, like not living up to God's potential for me. I don't give a fuck about disappointing anybody else, but I do give a fuck about disappointing God. Yes. And that is like, because I'm egocentric in a sense, I feel so divine and so, I have this purpose and I have this vision and I know I can see where I'm going and how I can change the world and how I can impact it, even if I can't always communicate it. And I can see it, and that's what matters, is that I can see it. And I know if I can see it in my head, I can bring it here to reality in this realm. So I wouldn't really wish for anything because I'd be so scared of blocking a lesson that God needed me to have, or, just blocking something that would help me to get to where I need to be, because I feel like even the shitty shit that happens, which is ever so regularly, so regularly, it's for a reason. And everything we're experiencing right now in this time in the world is for a reason. There's a reason we're seeing these abortion bans, what's going on in Sudan, and the Trump supporters. There's a reaction for everything, cause and effect. And we're seeing a lot of the latent ripples of a lot of this of the society that we've created. So I think it's necessary. We need to see it. We need to know it has to happen, because otherwise everybody's gonna be, who's gonna change it?
Right.
You're not gonna change it if you're comfortable. Growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable.
That's facts. That's so true.
It's not easy for a plant or a seed to break from under the ground and touch, to break the soil. It's not easy, but it has to happen if that plant wants to be a big ass tree one day. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm with the shits. That's how I feel about it. I'm with the shits, and I really truthfully feel like everything we're going through, we need to go through right now so we can get to where we need to go.
That's beautiful. No shortcuts.
No shortcuts. It's a shifting consciousness, and when you're shifting consciousness or transcending whatever, like, gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta do the work.
You gotta do the work. You gotta deal with some shit. So I think that's part of it, is everybody in our generation is like, I want this shifting consciousness and this revolution, but then we're like, oh my God, bad stuff. Everything sucks. And I'm just like, what the fuck did y'all think was gonna, hello?
Y'all thought it was gonna be smooth?
No. And that's just our immaturity because we're young.
Right, exactly. Last question. What do you have to say to the world?
I'm here. And I'm here to stay. So y'all better watch the fuck out. That's what I gotta say. Coming for everything that's mine. So take that how you want, world. But I'm coming for it.
Yes, I love that. Show us what you drew.
Okay. So I don't know what I drew, but this is what I drew.
It looks like some kind of brain.
It might be.
I don't know. You don't know what it is? Explain this. Like, what were you thinking? Or were you just like letting your hands do whatever?
It's just how I feel. I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. Kind of like.
I like it. It's an enigma.
Yeah.
Some type of space.
Kind of like space.
Brain,
yeah, and.
Berry.
Kind of like confusion, maybe.
Yeah.
And discomfort.
Mm.
And like. Light and happy aura around that I'm trying to get this colors to, be all.
I like it. I think it's beautiful.
Get it to be a cohesive thing. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at.
Can you sign it for me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, from this angle, it kind of looks like a person. I don't know. It could be anything. It's up to interpretation.
Right. It's a blob sitting in a colorful chair. Who knows?
It's up to interpretation.
Oh, it is a kind of a person.
Yeah, like maybe. So I guess maybe it's like probably a depiction of myself, like a self-portrait in a sense.
A mermaid with all this stuff around her.
Some kind of self-portrait. It is. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was fucking amazing.
Thanks for having me. This is Simone in the flesh.
Yay.